Hi, everybody. This week in grammar, we are going to focus on nouns. And as you know, a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. But we're going to focus on something called plural nouns. Now, before we can talk about plural nouns, we have to know what a plural noun is. So there's two types of nouns. There's singular nouns and there are plural nouns. A singular noun shows one thing, like a car, a boat, a ball, a girl, a pen, or a book. There's one of each of those. They are singular. By themselves, there's no other cars with them, or boats, or balls, or girls, or pens, or books. It's just a girl, it's just one car, one boat, one pen, one book, and one ball. So a singular is one noun. A plural noun shows more than one. Plural nouns means that there's two or more of that noun. And there are some different ways that we can make a plural noun. Usually, when we make a plural noun, we just add an S to the end of the word. So if I want to say that there are two cars outside, I just add an S to the end of car to make it cars. If there are more than one boat in the harbor, then I add an S to the end of boat and it becomes boats. That means that there's more than one. In gym, you might be playing with more than one basketball or ball. So if we add an S to the end of ball, it becomes balls, and that means that there's more than one. In our classroom, we have more than one girl. We have many girls in our classroom. So we add an S to the end of girl to make it girls, to show more than one. I often have many pens in my desk. I don't just have one pen. I need many because I'm always losing them. So to add an S to the end of pens means that there's more than one pen. And if I add an S to the end of book, I have books, which means that there's more than one book. This is what we do for most nouns, but there are some rules that we need to follow when we make plural nouns. The first rule we need to follow: if a noun ends with S, SS, CH, SH, X, or Z, instead of putting an S at the end of the word, we add ES. So this is important to remember. If the word ends with S, SS, CH, SH, X, or Z, we add ES to the end. So here are some examples. Here's the word dress. Dress ends with SS. So that means instead of just writing an S at the end, I write ES. And now I can say that I have dresses in my closet. Instead, if I just added an S, it would be dresses. And that's not a word, right? No. Let's look at bench. Bench ends with a CH. And it says if I have a CH, I need to add ES. So I write ES at the end, and that makes benches. Here I have brush. Brush ends with SH, so I need to add ES. And that makes brushes. Box ends with an X. So that means I added ES, and I don't have box, I have boxes. A lot of these words end with the S sound, and that's a great way to remember that it's an ES that we add, because if it ends with a S, we can't just add an S. So let's keep going. Bus. Bus ends with an S. So for more than one bus, I need ES. And last, I have peach. Peach ends with a CH. That means if I have more than one peach, I have peaches. So remember, if a noun ends with S, SS, CH, SH, X, or Z, we add an ES to the end instead of just an S. Another rule we need to follow is we need to know when to write S or IES. When a word ends with the letter Y, there's something special we do. We have to first look at the letter before the Y. If the letter before the Y is A, E, I, O, or U, then we just add an S, just like we normally would. Let's do some as an example. Here I have toy. It ends with a Y, but there's an O before the Y. So I just add an S to make toys. Here I have a boy. It ends with a Y, but there's an O before the Y, so I just add an S for boys. Next I have bay. And right before the Y comes an A. And I know if the letter is A, E, I, O, or U right before the I just add an S. Here I have turkey. There's an E before the Y, so I just add an S. And last I have key. There's an E before the Y, so I just add an S. Easy peasy, right? Absolutely. Let's keep going. Here I have a Y, O, but there's an R before the Y. If the letter before the Y is not A, E, I, O, or U, watch what we do. We're going to change this Y to an I and then write ES. So now I have cherries. Okay, let's try the next one. City. I have a T before the Y. That's not A, E, I, O, or U. So I'm going to erase that Y. I'm going to make it an I, and then I write ES. So now I have cities. Next, I have duty. Oh, that has a T before the Y again. So I know I have to erase the Y and write IES. Berry. I have an R before the Y, not A, E, I, O, or U. So I erase the Y and make it IES. And the last word I have is lady. That's a D before the Y. So I have to erase that Y and make it IES. So when we have plural nouns, we have some rules that we have to follow. Usually, we're just going to add an S to the end of the word like we did on this first page. Just an S. If the noun ends with S, SS, CH, SH, X, or Z, we add an ES to the end of it. And lastly, if the word ends with a Y, we look at the letter before the Y. If it's a vowel, A, E, I, O, or U, we just add S. If it's not a vowel, we erase the Y and write IES. On the next slide, you'll see your assignment for the day.